Guy Allen was sitting with his friends outside of school. He's a teenage football player, and he's hungry. He's eating Doritos with his friends. A couple of minutes later, 20 to be exact, police showed up at the hangout spot. Guns are drawn. They tell the kid, get on the ground, get on the ground, get on the ground. They cuffed him. They searched the kid, and they asked, got a gun on you? Do you have a gun? And he says, no. And he said, do you have anything blue on you? And he says, no. That's when they checked the video that they received from this tip-off. An AI gun detector at the school called Omni Alert, used by Baltimore School District, thought Allen's bag of Cool Ranch Doritos chips was a gun.
I'm trying to think.
And they alerted the police.
How could a bag of Doritos even closely resemble a gun?
They say the picture that triggered the AI detector was two hands with one finger out.
Holding the bag?
I think.
Oh, failure of AI. Hey, friends, Robert Imbriali here. Welcome to Monday. Always fun to be here with you on Monday for the Movement Show. A lot of people ask about this show, and so far the people who are watching it really love it. So I appreciate the wildly, positive comments on this show and the things we get to talk about. Do things a little bit differently. It's not necessarily a news show, but certainly we look at the top stories and give some commentary. There's a lot of stuff breaking right now as we speak from Candace Owens. Again, I know people love her or hate her. It seems to be very polarizing. People who have, sunk their teeth into one narrative think she's out there in left field. I'm still open. I want to see all of it before I fall in one camp or the other. And that's the way we should all be at this point. I mean, discernment's really important, right? It's one of these things that information's flowing at such a rapid rate. I mean, I look at some of the people that comment, friends and such who comment on some of the stories, and you can't get stuck on one side or the other. The Donald Trump thing and the MTG fight. What's that really all about? What's going on there? There's more to that story than we know, clearly. And how about Thomas Massie, Trump and Thomas Massie? I thought Thomas Massie was one of the good guys, right? Leans more libertarian, and Trump doesn't like libertarian, doesn't like Rand Paul. There's division on our side. So I think we've got to, be flexible here and keep our mind open to what may be happening, because it's kind of crazy. Okay, November 17th. Hey, wait, wasn't there supposed to be a whole bunch of stuff happening November 11th? Oh, no, maybe it was the 12th. That's why, folks, you don't do the date thing, right? You don't look at the dates and say this is going to happen by such and such a date, because rarely does it ever happen. I know it gets frustrating, and I have had some conversations in the past week with people who, love to throw dates around. And, it's like, how often have you been right? And then you get the blank stare. It's like, the dates are never right. Everything that we think is going to happen. We have to remember that we are in a war. Master Baggy would say this: we're in a war, and it's an information war. And, we make a move, and then we think this is going to happen, but then the other side makes a move that we didn't expect, and now that doesn't happen. Now we're counteracting that. It's just back and forth like this, right? So stay away from the dates. Stay away from it's going to happen by such and such a date, because, not always. It doesn't always happen that way, just the way it is. All right. Today's really going to focus on the economy, I think, more than anything. I wanted to find out, because I know, Edward, you had seen this on my Facebook and commented on it. I love your comment, by the way. I posted, not that one. I want to go to this shot here. I can't produce and talk at the same time sometimes. What is wrong with me? Is your lived experience that the economy is great, or that we're still mostly struggling, was my question. And I have anecdotal evidence. I can see my world. I can see the people that I interact with. But I often like to go out to people who I don't interact with. In fact, people who follow me on Facebook who are not necessarily Trump supporters, I want to know what's everybody feeling. And it was a good question, I think, for that perspective, because obviously I think it's overwhelmingly easy to see. And certainly the responses are overwhelming. People said struggling. If you look at this is on the Telegram channel. Still struggling, still struggling, still struggling, struggling, right? And that's really what's going on. People are having a real rough go of it. But it's one of the things that is frustrating, I think, more than anything, is that we're given a story. Government numbers. Government numbers say what? Oh, inflation is really low. Well, wait a minute. Think about this for a minute. Under Biden, inflation went up like a rocket ship. Any number that's positive is actually building on the inflation that we already had. So inflation, 2%, 3%, you go, oh, that's not a bad number. But it was 24, 25% under Biden. So you take that 24, add another 2, now it's 26, 28. You don't hear that part of the story. And it's not just here. People in Canada are their hair is on fire with what's going on price-wise. I've been hearing it from my relatives over there. Things have gotten really expensive. So it leaves us in kind of a strange position because we want to support Trump. We want to see what he's doing. We want to say he's doing really great things. And when I ask, what's your lived experience? In other words, what are you experiencing? People say, gas here is, I think $5.49 I saw last week. Bruce, when he came out here with his RV, he gets, 9 gallons to the mile with that thing. And he could not believe how expensive it was to fill the thing up. You need to take out a second mortgage to fill up his RV out here in California. It's crazy, right? And then I went to Arizona, like I said, last week, and all of a sudden crossing the border, gas is about $2 cheaper per gallon. 50 miles back, here it's just like crazy. Cross the state line and, gas is a lot cheaper. And you look at that and you say, okay, so how are we experiencing prices? Okay, gas is one thing. Got it. It's not that high everywhere. It's different here in California. How about groceries? Groceries we buy every week, right? Some people many times a week. My dad used to grocery shop every day. He only used to buy what he needed for the day because it was giving him something to do after he retired. Going to the grocery store was the thing he did. So if you look at that and you say, okay, if I'm buying the same groceries, a lot of us buy the same items, kind of habit where you buy the same thing. And where it was $20, $30 in the past, now it's $60, $70. I mean, $100 for a bag of groceries is not uncommon. And a lot of us are feeling that. Now, we're also seeing a lot of people are renewing their health care, and they're seeing big increases there. We see massive increases in insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance, car insurance. My car insurance doubled, and I don't use the car. I've literally got 8,000 miles on my new car in 2 years. My insurance doubled. And then the renewal here in California is a little over $700 to renew the registration. Yes, I know, Master Baggy, it's like $35 in North Carolina. I get it. It's painful to see that. So I don't know. My lived experience may be different than yours, but, asking that question, I think a lot of people just kind of felt the same way. It's like, yeah, it's real expensive around here. So one thing that I do every year is Black Friday's coming up, next Friday, not this coming Friday, the following Friday, will be Black Friday. And a lot of people don't know what Black Friday means. I'll just tell you real quickly. It's for many businesses. It's literally the first time all year that they end up in the black. A lot of businesses, a lot of retail stores really operate in the red all year long. And they make it up in that last, I think it's going to be 4 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, because Thanksgiving is a little bit later. So they make it up in that little period, and it kicks off with Black Friday. So when you look at Black Friday, a couple of things you should note. Number one, you should look at how many offers and how steep the discounts are. Now, it's going to be a good year. If you're a buyer, it's going to be a really good year. Why? Because businesses are what? They're hurting. Why are they hurting? Because the economy is really slow. I've been speaking to business owners, clients, friends who run businesses, and they're like, it's not there. The business isn't there. The customers aren't there. They don't have the money. Over and over and over. Same story. We keep hearing the same thing. So when Black Friday comes, you can expect there's going to be some great deals. What we'll also see very likely is January, a lot of companies will be out of business. They'll do this last hurrah, try to wipe out as much inventory as possible, and then they'll go out of business, they'll shut down. So it's not a great economic year when you look at it from that perspective. And you can always tell, like I said, by the offers that you'll see. We have to look at many different inputs here, not just the one, but this is what we're living. This is the world we're living in right now. So it's not entirely negative because, let's see here. The government is promising that sometime next year, first quarter, second quarter, somewhere between January and June, things are going to get a little better. Listen to this.
The cost of living, Maria, is two parts. So we inherited this terrible inflation. We are flattening it out. I believe we're going to push it down. Energy prices are down. Interest rates are down. But the real thing that is going to happen that is going to give Americans real purchasing power increases. It's going to be through growth. We passed the one big, beautiful bill. I am also the IRS commissioner, and I can see that working Americans, thanks to the president living up to his campaign promises, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. If you buy an American car, there are going to be substantial refunds in the first quarter of 26. Working Americans will change their withholding, and they will get a bump up in their real incomes. So I would expect in the first two quarters, we are going to see the inflation curve bend down and the real income curve substantially accelerate. And when those two lines cross, Americans are going to feel it. But Maria, I will tell you what we're not going to do. What we're not going to do is tell the American people that they don't know how they're feeling, which is what the Biden administration did. They said it was a vibe session. You don't know how good you have it. And we are working every day to get these prices down.
Do we have to wait, though? I mean, that's really what I'm hearing here. We're going to give you money back. We're going to reduce your taxes. That's good for 26. Maybe your withholding tax goes down a little bit. Maybe your salary goes up a little bit. But will it catch up with the inflation? Will it catch up with the high prices of food and everything else that we have to, the necessities of life? We don't know. But we're told to be patient. So you guys still patient out there? Or are you getting a little impatient? I think a lot of people are getting impatient at this point. And, I think MTG, I think the argument that she's making is interesting and is saying Trump is spending a lot of his energy on foreign policy and not so much on the economy here. Kind of tied though, right? You've got to fix the import-export stuff with tariffs and the things that he's doing, and ultimately that'll balance out the pricing. So we're in that weird transitional phase, right? Every time there's change coming, there's chaos, and we're in a lot of chaos right now economically. It looks good on the horizon. It looks good. It looks like there'll be some relief. I don't know about California. I think California may be a lost cause, but we'll see. I'm willing to wait it out a little bit more. And I know I've got friends all the time saying, "Hey, you need to get out of California. Leave California." But yeah, easier said sometimes than done. But that's, believe your eyes, don't believe the government numbers. I think that's the moral of the story here, is just look at things the way you see them and experience them, and make your own decisions about what you got to do next. It's really interesting right now. And I will report, by the way, I'll give you a report on what happened on Black Friday, because I always pay very close attention to that. That'll be on the Movement Show, not next week, the week after, obviously. And just so you know, Thursday Throwdown, we'll have it this week, but we won't have it on Thanksgiving. Obviously, we'll be having turkey instead. Hey, isn't that a good idea? Guys, if you want to find out, people ask a lot about my coaching and coaching programs. You can go to roberti.live, very short URL, and you can find out information about about the coaching programs I've got, one-on-one coaching, or if you want to be part of a mastermind group, both are available to you there. Okay. Let's get into some of the content today. We got a get prices down because they went way up, and got to get them back under control here. So one thing that Trump is doing, he's revealed today that he's in talks with Democrats to totally gut Obamacare. Basically, this has been tremendous for the insurance companies. They're making so much money. I mean, profits are up over 1,000% on some of these insurance companies. So it's been a boon for them. And everybody is across the board has seen their health insurance go up. Now, I don't partake in that world. I know many of you are on the same page and realize, why are we partaking in that world? The truth is, do you really want to be cured by modern medicine? Well, you don't get cured by modern medicine, but do you really want to be in that system and keep paying into it? That's a personal choice, right? So that's one thing. I know I have friends who are paying as much as, it gags me to even say it, about $7,000 a month for health insurance. $7,000 a month for health insurance. Wow. That's a lot of money to be flown out the window. Are you using that much health insurance every month? Are you using that much? You might be better off putting that money in a savings account somewhere, let it accrue some interest, and tap into that as your rainy day fund when you need health care. By the way, the prices are a lot cheaper if you're paying cash. If you don't have insurance and you go to the doctor and say, I don't have any insurance, what's the cash price? They now have to tell you how much it's going to cost. And hospitals are doing something really interesting, I'm hearing. They're putting together packages now. Oh, you've got this issue. Here's the package. Here's the price for the package, rather than detailing everything out piecemeal. They're giving you a package price, and here you go. Well, that just makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? So things on that front will change. I think they'll be changed dramatically. I think the Obamacare saga will be gone, and that will be really good to see that going away. A little bit tired of it. I think it's time for it to go away. Okay. Will he do it? Will he really do that? Let's see here. Which story should I do next? Because there's so many to choose from. I'm kind of distracted by the Candace Owens stuff that's coming out today. I will post it on the Telegram chat. I've already posted, I think, three clips from her show. Her show was actually streaming while I was grabbing those clips or copying those clips over. So we'll see what else she has. She claimed there's going to be a lot of bombshells dropped. That'll be interesting. All right. So energy prices are supposed to be falling. That's what the promise is, right? That would include gas. That would include oil. That would include electricity, right? All those things should be coming down. I don't know about you. I don't think I've ever remember the price of electricity ever coming down. Maybe I'm wrong. How about your cable TV bill? Ever come down? No. How about your Roku, your Apple TV, your Amazon Stick? Any of those things just keep going up year after year. They add $1 here, $2 there. It adds up after a while. And if your salary is not keeping pace with it, or your income's not keeping pace with it, it just gets harder. And there are a lot of people who are squeezed right now, and I hear it over and over again. So the promise from Trump is, look, he's going to do tax cuts. We might see refunds. Okay, good. Higher take-home pay, that would be good. But what's the percentage there would be the question. I don't know. So we'll start to see that, I think, in, like you said, 2026. It'll probably be first to the second quarter. So between January and March would be the first quarter. Second quarter will be between March and June. So you look at, half the year, the first half of 2026, things should start looking a little bit better economically. Another telltale sign that we have is the precious metals. If we keep looking at the precious metals, gold is down somewhat. I think it's down about $300 from its high, but silver's back over 50. Why do people invest in silver? It's more reliable than the stock market, and that might be a place to park some money if you want to do that. So it's kind of interesting to see that happening. Okay, over the weekend, you saw some things happening in Mexico. Well, that's kind of interesting, right? Mexico all of a sudden in an uprising. I kind of feel that it almost seems to be, sort of a precursor to what we may need here to really shake things up a little bit, because I think there's a lot of frustration. We keep hearing that, oh, there'll be indictments, oh, there'll be arrests, oh, there'll be whatever. But it seems like after a while, you catch on that we're just being strung along and it's not really happening, right? I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that right now. And we keep being told, be patient. It's going to happen. Be patient. It's coming. Kash Patel over the weekend. It's coming. You're going to start to see indictments. You're going to start to see people who are on the January 6th committee, right? Those people are going to be taken down. Okay. But we also have the 2020 election. We haven't done anything there yet, visibly. Nothing on the table. And then we have the 2022 election. We still have Tina Peters in prison. We still have, right? There's so many things that just the wheels don't seem to be turning very quickly or at all. And I think there's a lot of frustration in that. And so, I think that frustration when it got to Mexico went over the top to this weekend, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop because they were able to quell the people down on Saturday night there, where they were protesting. What were they protesting? What was the big deal? Well, they have the President Sheinbaum, who doesn't sound like a Mexican name to me. Sounds more German than anything. And they're saying that she is bought and paid for by the cartel. In fact, she's saying that they can't go after the cartels legally, which is ludicrous. This is Oscar Blue Ramirez. Let's listen to him.
Is the president of Mexico bought and paid for by the cartels?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I have not said this on Hispanic media and on your program, Steve. I'm going to have the boldness to say it. Yes, until now, everybody's saying it. And somebody's controlling her. And the number one thing that triggered this, it is that after the assassination of Carlos Manzo, she went on the morning conference, and the first thing that she said, it was that she cannot go to war with the cartels because it is illegal. Illegal is to decapitate. Illegal is to extortion. Illegal is to just terrorize the population like this. And you're giving them the freedom to do all these horrible things to the population. And you come out in the morning conference and then you say that it's illegal to go against the war, the cartel. That is what we need. We need to eradicate this problem, eliminate this problem, and, and get back the peace to the citizens, Steve.
And they're asking President Trump to step in and do something, and he didn't say he wouldn't. So we may see some movement there in Mexico. Remember, the cartels, a lot of what they're doing is they're sending their drugs into the United States, and it's hurting and killing lots of Americans. So you could look at it and say international terrorism if you want, right? You could put it under that framework. But the Mexican population clearly is fed up. They're fed up of seeing their mayors getting killed, their political candidates being killed. Not just done what they do here in the United States is blackmail them and such. They're actually killing them. They always, I think there's 22 candidates that were killed, so the Sheinbaum could get in. It's just the opposition. They just execute them. They get rid of them. And it's not the politicians doing it. It's the cartels doing it. Because they know if the wrong people get in, they're in trouble. So it's kind of, it's again, more chaos. But what do we know about chaos? Chaos is always going to usher in, change. Change is going to happen. So this chaos is necessary at this stage so we get to the other side. And we've got to push back. And I've always said that, it's like no matter what's going on, it'll always come back to you and I. Always. When we lock arms and say, no more, we're not accepting this anymore, stop dragging your feet, get on with it. When we put that pressure on our supposed leaders, they tend to act. They tend to not like seeing things like you're seeing in Mexico. They don't like that. But, we've been very passive. I think, maybe at some point, we're getting close to... Maybe we don't want to be passive anymore. Maybe we want to get in the streets a little bit. Maybe we want to be seen. Maybe we want to be heard. I'm not saying violent, but certainly be heard, right? And okay, we're digital warriors. We can post a lot of stuff online. We could share a lot of stuff online. That's kind of level one. Level two would be actually getting involved, getting into the game, if you will. And maybe that's where we go. And level three might be, maybe as Q has been saying, military is the only option. Maybe that's where it needs to go. There's still a lot of people talking about, things are going to happen. But, I'm getting tired of that because the whole year it was, it's going to be February. No, it's going to be March now. No, it's going to happen in April. And then it was June, and then it was September, and then it was November, October, and then now it's November. How much longer will we be passive? I don't know. Not helping us, not getting us what we'd like to see. So it's just moving in that direction. I think that's really, what we need to be thinking about. It's like, okay, what's the next step up here? All right. I'm going to push this up right here. If you want to follow me, you can go to renegademedia.tv. And you can find out everything that I'm up to there, and at Renegade Media on Telegram. And Joey G says he's been locked out of Telegram. He can't comment anymore. And I bet you anything, Joey G, that is because our spam bot caught something that you said. Didn't say you were spamming, but it gets false positives sometimes. So I'll go in and reinstate you, make sure that you can comment in there again if that is the case. And if anybody has a problem like that, if you find you're not able to comment, that the spam bot blocked you for whatever reason, just email me, robert@renegademedia.tv, and I'll get in there and make sure that we unblock you if you've been blocked inadvertently. And, it's a double-edged sword for me, because it's like, I don't want the spam in there. If I took the spam bot out, then it would be loaded with spam, probably 50, 100 messages a day sometimes. So that's really doing a lot of work. But occasionally, it takes out, messages that shouldn't be removed. It misidentifies them. Kind of like that bag of Doritos, mistaken for a gun. I mean, AI is a long way from perfect, but it's getting better. Every day it gets a little bit better because we keep training it. And the more we train it, the more effective it becomes. All right. There's a lot of talk right now about the Epstein files, right? So Trump was kind of interesting because he at first had been saying they're going to release them. That was a campaign promise. And then it came up to, okay, time to release them. He goes, we're not going to release them. And now he's turned around again. Now he says, okay, we're going to release them. Probably going to be heavily redacted. Probably not going to be. Don't get your hopes up. I'm not expecting a whole lot in this, because this is going to take down, if you were to see the whole picture, it wouldn't just take down American politicians, it would take down politicians around the world. Right? Because they're involved at all levels, right? And not just this country. So don't, hold your breath and say, oh, the Epstein files are coming out. Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they're not. I don't know. But this is what Trump had to say about it.
And I've had personal talks with some Democrats. I can't tell you who they are. I just don't want to do that. It's not fair to them. About paying large amounts of dollars back to the people. This was my idea. It came up during that. Oftentimes under times of stress, like the shutdown, you come up with great ideas that you wouldn't have thought of before. The insurance companies are making a fortune. Their stock is up over 1,000% over a short period of time. They are taking in hundreds of billions of dollars, and they're not really putting it back, certainly not like they should. So when I see this, and when I've seen this over the last pretty short period of time, I said, why do we just pay this money directly to the people of our country and let them buy their own health insurance? And I made that statement, and I made it a little bit cavalierly, but it sounded good. And everybody has picked it up, including Democrats. And I am talking to some Democrats right now about doing that. People love it. We're going to take the money. Well, if it gets approved, we're going to take the money. We're going to pay it back to the people of our country to go out and buy health insurance. Now, they can put it in a health account. We can do it a lot of different ways. But they buy their own health insurance. They can negotiate price. And it's going to be locked, so they can't go out and buy a Cadillac. They can go out and buy health insurance.
Go out and buy a Cadillac, huh? Okay. Yeah. So there he's talking a lot about the healthcare, and right at the beginning he was talking about the Epstein files. And there's a lot of talk about the Epstein files in terms of who might get hurt if they're released. And a lot of the survivors, the survivors, you don't want to name them. They don't want to be identified. It was already traumatic enough. And certainly I get that. It's one of these things. It's like, you don't have to relive the trauma that was. And there's a bunch of survivors here that have put out a video And it's kind of interesting because they're describing the trauma they endured as minors, holding up childhood photos of themselves. And they want to show who they were when the abuse happened. Very powerful video that they put out. I'm going to show this to you and get your opinion on it. Here we go.
I suffered so much pain.
So much pain.
So much pain.
I suffered so much pain. I was 14 years old.
I was 16 years old.
I was 16.
17.
14 years old.
This is me.
This was me.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
This is me when I met Jeffrey Epstein.
There are about 1,000 of us.
It's time to bring the secrets out of the shadows. It's time to shine a light into the darkness.
Yeah, when you see that, I think my take on that would be, I think these people want to see justice. They want to see those who perpetrated these crimes to be punished, and I think we owe it to them. Like you said, 5 administrations, nothing's happening. It's got to happen, and I think that needs to come out, even at the risk of some powerful people being taken down. At this point, it doesn't matter. Like, I think it's got to be handled. So Trump has changed his mind on this, and now he's going along with it. They're supposed to vote on it, I think, later this week. So we'll see. We'll see if like I said, will the files come out? Will they be redacted? Apparently, it's like 350,000 pages. It's a lot of files that'll be coming out. So the digital warriors, we're going to be out there. We're going to be going through this when it comes out, when it's made available publicly, and we're going to find what we can find. And let the cards fall where they may. I think at this point is probably the best approach to it all. And yeah, somebody said this Trump making stuff up as he goes along. Yeah, it sort of feels that way sometimes, doesn't it? Somebody had mentioned a little while back that people of higher intelligence can change their mind. People who tend to lock themselves in, they have an opinion, they form an opinion on something, and they're not open to any new information, tend to be a little less intelligent, right? So the more intelligence is, we keep gathering information, we keep seeing it. I believed this yesterday, but this new piece of information came up, caused me to change my thinking, change my mind on it. Okay, that's great. Maybe that's what we're seeing in him, is just more information that he's been privy to. You got to keep in mind that a president is isolated, right? Isolated heavily from the world that you and I live in, right? They don't get to see this world. You're never going to see Donald Trump pull up to a gas station and, pump his own gas kind of thing, right? He's not going to do that. He's not going to go to 7-Eleven and pick up a container of milk. It's not going to happen. He has people doing all of that. So they live a very isolated life. They don't see the world the way we see it. And they see the world through their advisors, the people who are feeding them the information they think that he needs to know. And sometimes that information is colored one way or another. So, as more information comes forth, maybe he's changing his mind. Maybe he's seeing more than we're privy to. And, I always remind you that what we're seeing is just the stuff that is made public. We don't get to see the behind the scenes. We don't get to see what the conversations and the meetings and all the stuff that's going on. It would blow your mind probably to hear it all. So we're getting these little scraps, and we're trying to figure out the world that we live in, trying to figure out where things are headed, and trying to analyze, and connect the dots as best we can. But we never have the full story. Never. So we got to remember that as we go in here and realize, if things are shifting, it's probably because there's more information that was made available. Maybe not to us necessarily, but certainly at that level to him. Maybe that's where that information has come up. So, yeah, we'll see this week. The files should come out. And when they do, I think we'll take a closer look at that and see it. We may actually end up doing, more shows on the Epstein files. I never thought I would, really, because I didn't think any of that information would come out. And we may still be in the dark, right? It may come out and it may be redacted, and we may not see things that we're hoping to see. I don't know. But let's see where the vote goes this week. Let's see if it does get voted in. They say, hey, let's do it. Let's send it out there. That'll be really cool. That'll be important to see. All right, let's shift our attention to Canada. Oh, Canada. And those of you who know me know I grew up in Montreal. I spent 14 years of my life there. Went to school, college, and high school and college there, and have family there. My mom's side was all from Montreal, Quebec City, that area. So I have connections there to Canada. But Canada's gone full communism, full communist, I think, and it's not hard to see anymore. I think, people were starting to see it during the trucker protests in 21. You remember the trucker protests? They had the trucks and they were all over the capital, Ottawa. They were in there for weeks on end. I don't know how they did it. It was so cold. They did it. And then when the government had enough of it, they brought in troops, but we don't know who they brought in. We still don't have the answer to that. Was it the UN? I don't know who it was, but it wasn't, from what I could tell, they didn't have any indicia. They didn't have any indication of who they were, but they came in and they shut that thing down really quickly. And then they went after the people who were participating in it. They froze their bank accounts. They put a lot of them in jail, right? They really went after them really hard. And you might say, wait a minute, I thought Canada was a free country. Well, it used to be. Used to be able to buy firearms without anything. I remember my dad buying a firearm when I was a kid. Walked into the sporting goods store. He got the gun in one hand. He's got the ammo in the other hand. He's walking through the store. There's no trigger lock. There's no case. There's nothing. Goes to the cash register. They ring him up. He walk out in the parking lot, puts the gun in the car, and off he went. That's the way it was. Canada was just like that. It's always been like that. And, the gun laws got stricter and stricter, and people had to register their guns, and they had to turn in the guns that were then deemed illegal. And then I think it was last year, or maybe a little bit before then, they started to block U.S. media. So all they have access to is government-funded media. CBC, CTV, right? Those kind of things. Global News, right? So all these Canadian-based news outlets, you're not getting the full story anymore. And my relatives they're shocked that I'm a Trump supporter. How could you possibly be a Trump supporter? Because they get 99% of the news about Trump is negative propaganda. They don't have access to anything more. They can't get to my Telegram account. They can't get to some of the Facebook posts I'll put up. They don't get to see that. It gets blocked. The censorship is pretty strong, right? So if you can see, you can look at the pattern, and it's like, where's it going? Where's it going? It's going more and more towards shutting down freedom of speech, right? Now you can't say certain things on social media without getting in trouble. Same as you're seeing in the UK, right? Same game being played there. But it really went to a whole new level when they started to raise, I think it was, where was it here? The Palestinian flag was raised at Calgary City Hall, and they also raised it in Toronto's City Hall. Watch this video.
Palestinian flag was raised at Calgary City Hall Saturday in a ceremony drawing more than 250 people.
I'm very excited to be here for our historic first flag raising that many communities around Calgary have been enjoying for like a decade now.
Many here say this recognition sends a message to the wider community about recognizing the Palestinian diaspora as part of Canada.
Raising the flag is more than just a symbol. It is a declaration. Palestinians exist.
The flag raising only became possible after Canada recognized Palestinian statehood on September 21st.
This is the first time in Calgary City Hall where the Palestinian flag is being raised. And that's important to us because it's a recognition. It's the beginning, and it's a first.
This could be the last time the flag of any nation is raised here at Calgary City Hall. The city's newly elected mayor says he intends to put an end to the practice. In a statement posted on X, Mayor Jeremy Farkas wrote, "City Hall must be a place that brings people together. National flags, particularly during times of global conflict, can have the opposite effect. Instead of creating unity, they can create division, escalate emotions, and make some Calgarians feel unsafe in a place that belongs to all of us." Farkas says he'll move to change the city flag rules in the coming week, a move leaving many here disappointed.
We really feel bad, and we really don't want this to go through. Not because I want my flag to be raised next year, no. Just because it's not fair for other countries.
Despite tensions overseas, Saturday's event was peaceful and celebratory with few mentions of the conflict in Gaza. 3 people opposed to the event showed up but were mostly ignored by the crowd and left as others hugged and took pictures of the flag flying for its first and perhaps only time at Calgary City Hall. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
Trying to put a positive spin on it, I see, huh? Yeah. So why would they be raising the Palestinian flag in Canada? What are they really trying to tell you? Well, a lot of people are saying that shows that the Canadians have been conquered. Canada has been conquered is really what they're saying. When you raise a foreign nation's flag in your nation, certainly at City Hall, that sends a pretty powerful message. So we're going to have to pay attention to this to see where it goes. I don't see any uprising from the Canadians. I think they're, kind of docile again, and maybe it's time for them not to be that way. Maybe it's time for them to say, "Hey, we want to take our country back," and before we lose it completely, which is certainly they're taking huge steps in that direction right now, and it's not fun to see. We know that can happen here. We're seeing people are waking up and realizing how many mosques are in Texas, for instance. I could not believe it. That there are some parts of this country that there are Sharia law courts already set up and established and working. And people are like, well, what now? How is this even possible? It's possible because we're not paying attention, right? How did Obama get in? Obama got in because we were drunk. We were all so wealthy, real estate going through the roof, and everyone had so much money on their hands back in 2008. We just weren't paying attention. Took our hands off the wheel, and that's how that got in. And you look at that and you say, okay, maybe now we need to pay more attention. Well, that was a start. Now we're fully engaged, but not enough still. I think there's still more to go. Because we have a huge Muslim population. When the borders were opened, you didn't see much in the way of uprising here in the United States, and probably there should have been. They kept telling us, the borders are closed, they're secure, and yet you saw the videos of thousands of people rushing through the border. That didn't look too closed or too secure to me, interestingly enough. So, guys, like I said, no matter what, it's going to be up to us to decide how we want to, run this, how we want to deal with this going forward. And, that's just going to be, a project that's going to be on our plate to handle. I don't know that the politicians will ever get it done. I think they're too ingrained. And, look at this Epstein file stuff, how long this has been dragging on and on and on. It's to the point that I'm just like, I don't even expect there'll be anything great coming out. I think it's just going to be, one of those things. It's not going to be that exciting to see. There's not going to be a lot of stuff disclosed there. All right, let's do some fun stuff now because it's time for a little bit of fun. All right, let's see here. So doctors are talking about applying for a job at McDonald's because AI is threatening to replace them. You saw the video the other day of, it was an AI video, but it was one of Elon Musk's Optimus robots performing surgery on a human. And Elon says this is going to be better than doctors at some point. They're going to be more precise. They won't get tired halfway through. They want to replace the surgeon because it's a long surgery. So he's kind of looking in that direction. Now the doctors are saying, I might lose my job over this.
So I'm about to lose my job. And this is scary because I developed this skill over 20 years. I just, boom, look at an x-ray and say, oh, here we go. We have right middle lobe pneumonia, maybe left upper lobe consolidation. Patient is very sick. She has bilateral pneumonia. We need to take care of her. But here comes AI, and of course, they pick it up in a second. So now, you don't need professional eyes to look at these x-rays. You just have artificial intelligence, and they picked up the pneumonia. So I'm going to be applying to McDonald's soon. I hope they have some openings.
And kind of, when you look at this, it's okay, will the doctor really be replaced? That's one of those skills when you're looking at something like that. You're having a bad day, you may miss something, you may catch something. AI is probably going to be a little bit more consistent in the results you get. So maybe that makes sense. And maybe you don't have to wait for the doctor to review your chart. Maybe the doctor's jammed that day and has too many patients. You know how it goes, right? They do a quick job. They don't catch everything. AI might be more accurate, might be more reliable. So there are some areas where, maybe it makes sense. Maybe that is a better use of the tool. What do you guys think? Think it'll work? Think it'll be a good idea to go in that direction? I'm kind of thinking it might be. I'm kind of feeling that there. All right. Some of you heard that my buddy Bruce kind of changing directions and trying to get away from some of the things that he had been doing. There's a fire that burns in all of us, right? And we always want to do something that matters, that makes a difference, that makes us feel whole. And for him, he's been, almost 3 years I know him now, 3 years, maybe 4 years I know him. He's always been talking about this, and he's been wanting to go in this direction, And he launched a video today where he really just took off. I mean, literally went in that direction and said, I'm going to be talking about personal development. I'm going to be talking about taking your power back. I'm going to be talking about helping people really realize their dreams. And he did an awesome job. I'm going to play a little clip here, and then we'll talk about it, because I think it's good to see Bruce in action.
You show up as the strong one, the nice one, the easy one, the reliable one, while the real you sits in the back seat. If that hits, that's your mask. So go back to those quick questions. Where in your life do you feel like you have to edit yourself? What's the first thing that pops in your head? Where do you feel like you're walking on eggshells, reading the room, managing everyone instead of telling the truth about what you think and what you want? See, there's a reason that we built these masks. When you were young, you learned very quickly what got you love, what got you pain. Maybe you learned that being quiet kept you safe.
You can watch that whole video there. Just go to Bruce Poppy Show on YouTube. Actually, I did a search. It was pretty easy to find it. Bruce Poppy Show, and you'll find his YouTube channel. Or just go to brucepoppy.com, and it'll have the link there. Show him some support, if you will. It's really good when somebody strikes out in a new direction that he knows we got his back, right? We're there to help him out. So if you feel so inclined, go visit his YouTube channel, or just go to brucepoppy.com, and you'll find his YouTube channel there. And then give him a thumbs up, give him a like, watch the video. He really did a nice job, and proud of him. Really good to see him stepping up and doing something that is bringing a lot of joy to him. All right. Wow. This one really, I'm going to say no to this one. This might be the future of flying. Absolute no for me. Yeah. Standing up in the airplane. The reason they would do that is they could put more people in the airplane. Or if you're standing up, you're using less space than if you were sitting down. I've been talking about this, we're doing this for years. And this is the first time I've actually seen it kind of, done. Yeah. Gives new meaning to cattle call, right? It's like, I don't think I would want to do that. Yeah. How would you deal with turbulence if you're standing up? I don't know. I've got questions. I don't see it as a great solution. And if they sold me a ticket, even if the ticket was cheaper, sorry, not going to do it. You got a 5-hour flight from San Diego to New York City, and you're going to be standing the whole time? I don't think so. I don't want to be doing that. Crazy. Question for you. What was your first phone? Put it in the chat. What was your first phone? Here's 1 through 18. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking my first phone was probably, I had one before number 5, but not number 4. Maybe it was number 3 for me. What was your first phone? How far back do you go? Number 1 was probably in the 70s. I remember those car phones. They were massive. Yeah. Put in the chat. I want to see how far back you guys go with the cell phones, if you will. Master Baggy 4. Yeah, there. Yeah, here you go. I think number 5, it reminds me of my Nextel phone. I loved that phone. But I had an AT&T phone prior to that, which looked more like number 3. So, yeah, cool. Excellent. Yeah, technology has really come a long way over the years, I'm telling you. Really come a long way. All right. Some people don't know what to do with their old televisions. When the TV dies and you want to get rid of it, you have to recycle it and take it into a special place. Well, this guy came up with a different way of getting rid of his old television. Yeah, just stick it on the porch and leave it there, and someone is sure to come by and grab it. I got to tell you, this has been going on a long time. We think of it as something new, and I think it is that way because we have the cameras now that we didn't have in the past, right? But I remember my dad telling me stories. He grew up in Brooklyn, and he said when they wanted to get rid of the garbage, they would put it in a box, not a bag, and they would leave it on the balcony. In the morning, it was gone. And people would come steal the box, but it was just trash. That's how they would get rid of it. I don't know if it was true or not, but that's the story he told over and over again. Porch Pirates, it's in high season right now. Amazon's got this new thing where you can give them a code and they can come and open your garage, put the packages in, then close your garage. I'm not sure I'm doing that. And there are some people who say, well, you can do it on your front door. If you have one of those electronic locks, they can open the door, put the packages in the front door. Would you really trust a stranger to open your house up like that? I don't know. But that's what they're trying to do to solve it. I don't know that that's the best solution. For many years, I just had a box at the UPS store. Easier, the UPS comes whenever they come. It's great. And, you go pick it up whenever you want to pick it up. You don't have to worry about it getting stolen. So if you're in one of those areas, that may be a solution for you. And I don't know if I trust the solution with Amazon having access to open up your garage or your front door. Kind of strange. But that's how they're trying to deal with it because this time of year, there's a lot of that going on. And I think when the economy is harder, as it is now, you're probably going to see a lot more of it. I'm seeing a lot of videos online with Porch Pirates. The Ring cameras are there. I don't know. People don't understand that pretty much everyone has cameras now on their front door. It's not hard to see it. It's got a lens on it. It's, it's not really hidden. Anyway, strange world that we live in. Strange world that we live in. Okay, let's see. Anything else on my list of things to do? Oh yeah, this is good news. I don't think we have Steak and Shake here. I've never seen a Steak and Shake here locally in California, but they're changing up their menu a little bit. We double fry our fries in beef tallow, no seed oils, and they use Wisconsin grade A butter only. No buttery blend, in other words, no margarine. Cane sugar Coca-Cola, so got rid of the high fructose corn syrup, A2 milk and A2 chocolate milk starting December 1st. HFCS, which is high fructose corn syrup, free ketchup coming soon. So ketchup, by the way, has a lot of high fructose corn syrup. I don't know. Ketchup is like, 2 tomatoes and 5 pounds of sugar. Really, what ketchup really is. But they don't use sugar. They use high fructose corn syrup. So they're going to get rid of that, and they'll probably go back to a cane sugar-based ketchup. That's kind of cool. They want to lead the way. It's a journey to improve ingredients. And what they're showing here, I think more than anything, is they're showing that fast food doesn't have to be unhealthy. There are ways to make fast food healthier. Not going to be great for you. It's not going to be health food, right? But at least it's not going to damage you. And it's okay to have it once in a while. And it should be that way. I mean, RFK Jr. had said that in an interview I'd seen of his not that long ago. And he said there's no reason why you should have to, worry about going to get a burger on the corner, right? You shouldn't be eating ingredients that are harmful for you. And I think I really like that they're moving in that direction. So hopefully that will start a trend, and more of these fast food joints will start to do that, and start to pull the bad ingredients out. It was interesting. They interviewed Starbucks. They said, "When are you going to take the artificial ingredients out of your menu?" And they said, "Well, we never had them." Okay, news to me. I didn't know. Did you know Starbucks didn't use any of the fake stuff? Interesting. Anyway, that time of year, things just go really quick this time of year. It's already, we're coming up on the end of November already. It's like, whoa, let's go quick. The 17th today, 10 days from now is Thanksgiving. And then 4 weeks from then would be Christmas and New Year's. And we are doing a December 30th marathon. So we're going to plan that. And it will be more focused on giving you, a little push to get into the new year, starting off on the right foot. So we're going to have a different roster of speakers than you're used to. And we're working on that. Christine Geiger is going to be helping. Bruce Poppy is going to be my co-host. And we'll probably have Mitch Axelrod in here as well. And, we may stream on Lewis's channel. He asked to do that. So we'll see. But it'll be fun. I can't wait to give you more details as we move forward on that. But for now, I think I've come to the end of what I wanted to share with you today. I really enjoy hanging out with each of you. And let's do it again this Thursday. Bruce will be joining me, and we'll have a really good show. I have a couple of requests out there for people to join us on the show. So it's not just Bruce and I. It should be a couple more as well. So we'll look at that, and we'll see who can make it this week. I know it gets a little bit tough this time of year, but we'll see what we can do for you. All right. With that, thank you guys. Lots of love to each and every one of you. And we'll see you back here Thursday for more. Take care.